Hi, my name's Don, and I'd like to share with you a book about the Grand Canyon, which has a really cool picture in front of the canyon and some hikers and a bighorn sheep hiding on a cliff and a little raft and a bald eagle. This chapter is called The Grand Canyon is a Time Machine. National parks are the best places to have adventures, go for hikes, climb a mountain, raft a river, or see wild animals. Visitors aren't watching someone else having adventures in movies or TV. They aren't just pretending that they are having adventures with video games. These places are very real, and now anyone can do something really daring, difficult, and exciting. Hiking into the Grand Canyon is like having a time machine and traveling into the past. The Grand Canyon is the best place anywhere to see Earth's history. The rocks at the bottom are 1.8 billion years old, or about 40% as old as planet Earth. On top of that are stacked younger layers of rock, like the layers of a birthday cake. A number like 1.8 billion is hard to grasp, even for adults. So let's try this. Imagine that a whole year is reduced to the time span of only 1 second. By this measure, 3,600 years would fit into 1 hour, and 270 million years would equal 8.5 years. The top rock layer of the Grand Canyon is 270 million years old. Someone who is 60 years old would contain 1.8 billion years. Looking into the canyon, you see bands of different colors. Some are thicker, some thinner. Some form cliffs and others form slopes. That's because there are different types of rock. Sandstone is made of sand, shale forms from mud, limestone is made of the shells and calcium of ancient sea creatures. These rocks were created in different environments, oceans, beaches, swamps, or deserts, as the world slowly changed. Some rocks are harder and some are softer, so they break down in different ways. The harder rocks form cliffs and the softer rocks form slopes. When you hike into the canyon, these bands of color become rocks loaded with details. The Grand Canyon has a dozen trails that go from the rim to the Colorado River. These trails started as animal trails, then became Native American trails. American prospectors improved the trails for burros and mules. The most popular trail is the Bright Angel Trail, which starts in the middle of Grand Canyon Village. The cluster of hotels and restaurants that make up Grand Canyon Village is on the canyon's south rim. Most visitors go to the south rim, which is closer to highways and stays open all year. The north rim is 1,000 feet higher than the south rim and gets so much snow that it closes for more than half the year. The Bright Angel Trail takes about 8 miles to descend to the Colorado River. In those 8 miles of walking, visitors are dropping 1 vertical mile. That's steep. Lots of people take short hikes down the trail just to get a feel for what it's like to be inside the canyon. They like looking at the rocks and looking up at the rim. Visitors can also hike all the way to the bottom, but only if they have made plans to stay there overnight. Hiking in the canyon is hard work, especially coming back up. Plenty of kids have hiked it, and so have people in their 90s, and disabled people with prosthetic limbs. A partially blind ranger named Keith Green worked at the bottom of the Grand Canyon for years and hiked it all the time. Hikers need some sturdy and worn-in hiking boots, and maybe a hiking pole for better balance. Hikers need to take plenty of water. The biggest danger, especially in summer, is dehydration. Sweating out more water than you are drinking can make you really sick. Many canyon visitors come from other climates and don't understand that a desert climate can dry you out really fast. Dehydration can even kill you. It's best to hike in the spring or autumn, not summer. One way hikers protect themselves from the sun is by wearing good hats. As soon as the Bright Angel Trail starts, many people notice odd shapes in the cliffs. These are fossils of seashells, corals, and sponges. The trail goes right through an ancient ocean. The dead bodies of countless sea creatures piled up on the ocean floor and eventually turned into this limestone. These fossils are older than the dinosaurs. The canyon doesn't contain any dinosaur bones or fossils because the dinosaurs are youngsters compared to Grand Canyon rocks. But you don't need to go down the trail to see fossils. One of the park's most popular ranger programs is the Fossil Walk, which takes visitors to a place on the rim that is packed with fossils. It's like a treasure hunt. The rangers let people find the fossils and then talks about the creatures that made them. Not far down from the rim, the trail goes through a tunnel that was carved through a cliff. Just past the tunnel, under an overhanging ledge, are some pictographs, which are pictures drawn long ago by Native Americans. After less than a mile, the trail comes to a rock layer that looks different. The canyon's main color is red, but this layer is white. It has many sloping, crisscrossing lines in it. These are ancient sand dunes. Most of the canyon's rock layers were created underwater, but this layer was part of a desert. The dune slopes tell geologists which way the wind was blowing 280 million years ago. In places, these rocks hold the fossilized tracks of ancient lizards. But alert visitors may see not just fossil tracks of lizards or pictographs of desert bighorn sheep. They'll see real living lizards and desert bighorn sheep scrambling over the rocks. A little farther, and hikers notice their boots turning kind of red as they walk through the dust of rocks formed from mud and sand. This rock has a lot of iron in it, which makes it red. The boots of unlucky hikers may turn a bit green from stepping in poop from the mules that carry riders on the trail. The tallest cliffs in the canyon are formed by the Redwall limestone, so it's not surprising that it holds some of the steepest parts of the trail. There aren't many places in the canyon where trails and people can get through the Redwall limestone cliffs. Bright Angel Trail follows a geological fault, a crack in the Earth's surface. The fault has broken the cliffs and left a massive pile of boulders and dirt. The trail zigzags back and forth over this debris. This allows people to climb down into the canyon. The Redwall limestone, like most of the canyon's rocks, was formed in the ocean and then lifted 1.5 miles above sea level. How did this happen? Some Native Americans believe that the Earth is the shell of a giant turtle and that earthquakes happen when the turtle moves. In a poetic way, they were right. Scientists have found that the Earth is made of many giant rock shells called tectonic plates. The powerful heat inside the planet pushes these plates around very slowly. When they collide, they force the land to rise, creating earthquakes, volcanoes, and mountains. Tectonic forces push the Grand Canyon rock layers out of the ocean and high above it. On the trail, the rocks and dust change color again to gray-green. This is the Bright Angel Shale, 500 million years old. If you know how to recognize them, you can see the fossilized tracks of trilobites, which are very like today's horseshoe crabs. Just like people today, the trilobites went for a walk one morning, and their tracks from 500 million years ago tell you all about it. Soon the trail comes to Havasupai Garden, where the hikers can rest beneath cottonwood trees. The trees get their name because their seeds float on little parachutes that look like cotton puffs. From the rim, the cottonwood trees look like little bushes, but up close they are about 100 feet tall. These cottonwoods grow here because springs give them lots of water. As you descend into the canyon, the temperatures get warmer and the plants get smaller and more spread out. Heading downward again, the trail follows a pretty creek through a narrow sandstone canyon. Then the trail drops steeply again, zigzagging through black cliffs streaked with pink granite. This is some of the oldest rock on Earth, 1.8 billion years old. National parks have a program called Junior Ranger. It lets kids get more involved with the Grand Canyon. They start by getting an activity book that is full of puzzles, games, codes, lists, and things to draw. Junior Rangers have to do a few things to qualify. Options include attending a ranger talk, wildlife spotting, or shooting a 30-second video about their park visit. Then a park ranger will swear them in and give them a Junior Ranger badge and certificate. It's quite a rare experience. You know, people come here from all over the world to hike in the Grand Canyon or to run the river or just to photograph it or maybe to paint it or just to learn about it. You know, there's some good museums along the rim, Geology Museum and History Museum and a Native American museum, and it really brings the canyon to life because, you know, if you just look at it, it's like this grand visual experience far off in the distance, but you can also immerse yourself into it. It doesn't take much of a hike to immerse yourself in the canyon, and that's a really different experience and a more powerful experience than just looking at it and finding it to be pretty. So it can be a very meaningful and powerful experience, and that's available to kids too.